What's a show everyone loves, but you couldn't get into? Grey's Anatomy. Yep. Every time it's on, all they're doing is sniping at each other or losing their ST and breaking down and crying over something. This hospital is supposedly their workplace. And I'm one of those people who cannot stand over emotionality at work. It turns me off. Can't these people just be real? It makes me laugh that someone pops in with a rare medical condition that only one of the 8 doctors in the hospital can magically diagnose and treat. There are almost no tests, no radiographers, no nurses, no care assistants. The doctors are moving their own beds and shagging each other at the same time. What a hospital to work in. Walking Dead. The first 2 seasons were made by the guy who wrote The Shawshank Redemption, and it's downhill after that. For anyone unclear, this is referring to Frank Darabont, who adapted Shawshank and Walking Dead from the original works. He wrote the screenplays for the adaptations, but Shawshank was a Stephen King novella and Walking Dead was originally a comic created by 3 other guys. But yes, Darabont did an excellent job of adapting both to film/TV. I did not care for Bridgerton. It insists upon itself. Perhaps. Sex and the City. I may have to turn in my woman card, but there, I've said it. My wife started watching it. After 3 episodes she turned to me and said, "These are the 4 most horrible women alive." I don't think they were meant to be likable. They were meant to be interesting. Just different archetypes of successful women in New York City and a slice of what life was like at the time. Not that different from something like Mad Men, where the characters are flawed and insufferable, but that's not the point. Big Bang Theory. I hate it so much. I don't know how to explain it other than watching it hits me like watching a bad comedian smugly laugh at all their own jokes. It's a show about nerds for people who aren't nerds, written by people who aren't nerds. It feels disingenuous. I heard it described as nerd blackface. I wouldn't go so far as to imply that The Bang Theory is even as close to as offensive as blackface. But I kind of liked the analogy. We are not doing blackface anymore. Yellowstone. I've never seriously tried to sit down and watch a full episode, but my wife loves those series. Every time it's on and I walk through the room to go do something in the kitchen or whatever, they're posturing or threatening to fight or fighting each other over some dumb ST driven by their cartoonishly oversized egos. Constantly eye-rolling and shallow. Like, can't these people just act real? It's a soap opera for men. IF hated too. It's Sons of Anarchy on horses. Any of the reality shows that are popular now. Love is Blind, The Bachelor/It, Selling Sunset, etc etc. IDK reality TV doesn't do it for me anymore. I grew up on America's Next Top Model and all those VH1 dating shows. Also hated Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead, and Qley. American Idol. I won a competition at Universal Studios in Florida, but they said I was past the age date, so even though I won, I couldn't get into the show. There's an age limit, HMM. It was quite obvious, but heard people were told to have a sob story or something emotional and people were lying. Yeah, I was well past 40, which is the cutoff. One of the judges, the mean one who was the local Simon, pulled me aside and told me that I'd won the competition hands down, but the -- prize was to skip the line at the Hollywood tryouts and go straight in front of the actual judges. But since I was too old to be on the show, they gave the ticket to the younger contestants who could actually compete. How I Met Your Mother. I enjoy the show, but I completely understand it when others don't. I loved it when I watched it. Rewatching it now is so rough, and I will never suffer through that series finale again as long as I live. I'm still not over that load of crap. I've done maybe 1 or 2 rewatches since the finale. Show used to be my absolute favorite. Now I find it kinda insufferable. On both rewatches, I stopped and watched the alternative ending on YouTube. Yeah, I've never seen the final 2 episodes ever again, and never intend to either. CSI. All of them. CSI Miami is a camp masterpiece. It's like modern film noir. It's highly stylized and ridiculous, and that's the point. It's lovable to me, like Jason Statham movies are lovable. A lot of shiny things happen, and it's mildly entertaining, and not a thought is spared in processing it. And who doesn't love a one-liner / pun before the yee? You know what they say, Frank. Attaches sunglasses. Speed kills yeerr. The Big Bang Theory. Super obnoxious show. Big Bang Theory is a famously hated show. I still find a bunch of people IRL who love the show though. It's mostly hated online. Friends. It wasn't funny to me. It was just annoying. I agree. I also generally don't like sitcoms, and this one seems to be the epitome of the genre. Gilmore Girls. I'm sorry but I find it cringe, and I love rom-coms. I just hate the way they all talk. I know TV dialogue isn't real life, but people just do not talk like that anywhere. What do you mean? Don't people use really long sentences without pauses and interpunction all the time when they're explaining stuff while sitting in a diner with some 50-year-old guy with his hat on backwards? My wife used to watch this, and I had to leave the room every time. Is that bad and annoying? The Bear. It's not as well written as it thinks it is. Having every character shout at each other all the time is not a substitute for good drama. Good comedy, according to awards shows. Lost. Couldn't get into it. The Office. Look, I get it. It's witty. The writing team is full of some of my favorites and the cast is stellar. I just, well, don't find it funny or engaging. I never find myself caring what happens to anyone, and find Michael and White more annoying than charming. It seems like a great show that just isn't for me. Watching it made me feel that the characters are actually in some kind of purgatory. Literally. I love Parks and Rec though lol. I named my cats Ron Swanson and Tammy Hash too. Best decision ever. Friends. I hate the show Friends as a whole, but it did have some funny one-liners. Same, and my wife and I will still reference I'm Breezy to this day. Game of Thrones. I gave it 2 seasons at the behest of a friend and realized I didn't care about a single character or what happens to them afterwards. The 2 characters I did care about were character assassinated, so you missed nothing. Stranger Things. Everyone around me wouldn't shut up about it for months. I watched 2 episodes and had enough. I just don't get it. I guess they did a great job of capturing the feel of the 80s, not just the wardrobe and setting, but the writing and style of filming. It was a huge nostalgia thing for those of us of the right age, at least for the first couple seasons. Stranger Things. Watched first season and never went back. Coming from someone who actually likes the show. 1 is the best season anyway, though 4 was also pretty solid. What baffles me is why it has such intense marketing and merchandising. It's a gory 80s show, but you're making a ton of kids toys and tie-ins, like it's Frozen 3. Who is this for, Mayo? Who is this for millennials? They're the new kids market. Lost. This show is the subject of an inside family joke. We were all sitting around, trying to watch it, but not really succeeding. My oldest kid would have been 9, and he rolls his eyes and asks, "What's this supposed to be about?" Youngest kid is 4 and very helpful. Well, see, they're lost. Probably a you had to be there moment. But 20 years later, and we still laugh about it. Has it really been 20 years? I had to look it up, because I wondered about the ages of my kids, and yeah, the show premiered in 2004. Prison Break. So I recently just binged Prison Break and the first 2 seasons were great. It then went downhill fast. Lost. Downton Abbey. A lot of characters and so much going on. I thought I'd try it because I love the show Call the Midwife. I found the main character in Call the Midwife annoying. The fictional ones were better. Maybe it's the actress, I didn't like her in Call of Duty either. Seinfeld. This guy, this is not my kinda guy. Are you saying you want a piece of him? I could drop you like a bag of dirt. Succession. Was triggered watching it because I used to work for my family. Only made it to episode 5. Surprised not to see more votes for Succession. I did get into it. The last season especially was great, but my god, that first season was a hard slog. Every single character was so insufferable and annoying. I couldn't make it past the first 3 episodes. Does season 2 improve on that front? My mom's a fan of the show and I want to give it another go for her. You've pretty much nailed the point of the show. None of the main characters are supposed to be likable. You're just rooting against some of them more than others. It's a black comedy peek into a real life Murdoch-like billionaire family dynamic. The filthy rich are insufferable. Seinfeld. Bridgerton. Game of Thrones. Just seems like a res porno to me. There was a gratuitous amount of noodles and balloons in that show. I just rewatched it. I fast forwarded through all the porn scenes. I'm sorry, but I'm absolutely howling with laughter at noodles and balloons. I've never heard that before. How I Met Your Mother. Boring and cringy version of Friends. Can't stand a minute of it.